Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So quite a bit to go through here, so let's just jump into it here. So first of all, the GameFound crowdfunding campaign for Avatar The Journey of Aang board game. In my video that I did on this last week, going over like how to play, my kind of like preview of it, because I have a copy of it, I mentioned at the start that I was told that the launch date for the campaign was today, September 19th. Now, as of recording right now, it is not live. It's still a campaign preview. They're talking about, like, in the comments officially that, like, they're gonna, like, announce the launch date soon. To me, suggesting that clearly between when I was told, and again, I was told by the president of Bad Crow Games that the launch date was the 19th. I even sent a specific email in response being like, hey, I'm going to mention the launch date in my video. You guys haven't announced it yet. Is that okay? They said, yes, it is the 19th and it's okay to mention it. So that's, you know, it at some point was the 19th. Clearly that has changed a little bit. It still seems like they're a little bit up in the air, but it seems like it's still going to be soon-ish, like within the next couple of weeks when the campaign actually does go live. Maybe we'll find out later on if something is happening, but it does seem like the date has been pushed back. I don't have any specific information beyond that, but just to highlight that, hey, I'm not spreading misinformation. I was told by effectively the most high-up source on this game that this was the launch date, and it has changed obviously since then. On the other side of things, the other big event happening today is, of course, the big live stream for Netflix Geeked Week. So we are expecting, of course, we know there's going to be a Netflix Avatar Season 2 news, and this is just to highlight that the event itself is happening. It's a live event in Atlanta, but they are also streaming it 8 p.m. Eastern, which actually means it's like very early on the 20th for me, so I won't be able to do coverage on whatever they actually announce until probably Friday, kind of a more normal time for me. But just to be aware of this, the live stream is already kind of up effectively on YouTube, so I'll link this below so you can watch it later on when it actually hits. And you can see here, it's the Geek Week 2024 live showcase featuring all of this stuff, but you'll note in the trailer they have Aang, and of course on social media they've already announced that Dallas Liu and Ian Ousley are going to be basically presenting the Avatar portion of the stream. We don't know when it's going to be, but you know, the Avatar section is going to come at a certain point, and they will have some quote-unquote earth-shattering announcements is what they've been saying. Now, just some brief speculation. What are they actually going to show at this thing? Because we have to remember that filming is not going to start on Season 2 until next month. So any work that's been done ahead of time is sort of, I guess, pre-production work. I guess some of the writing and stuff like that could have been done. They could theoretically show off concept art stuff, but for a live action adaptation, is that maybe the best thing to do? Not really sure. So what we're all expecting is actor announcements. Leading with Toph, like Toph basically has to be the main event. Which actress do they have for Toph? Plus another bunch of the main roles that they have. And just to highlight this in terms of how much they could talk about, because as far as we're aware, they are going to be more or less doing like book 2 and 3 back to back, which is another thing I think they should probably reiterate during this, that they are confirmed for book 2 and 3. That they are going to get to complete ATLA, and that would be nice to get. One of the other things I would very much be looking for is I'd like to know how many episodes it's going to be. That would be a very telling statement, I think, more than anything else, about if the season's going to work well or not. But yeah, here's a bunch of characters that are kind of new to Season 2 that they could announce the actors for, just to be on the lookout for sort of, hey, if they announce this character, it suggests that this episode, or at least part of this episode, is going to be featured in the live action. So of course we have the likes of General Fong, who is interesting because he was voiced by Daniel Day Kim on the show, his first Avatar role, of course, and now he's playing Ozai in the live action, so that's just an interesting character from that point of view. But we'll see what they do with a lot of the general characters. There's like Lo and Lee, Song, May's family, the Foggy Swamp characters. We've got like the Rough Rhinos, Mayor Tong from Chin Village, Toph, of course, but you'll note we're quite a few episodes into season 2 by the time we get to Toph, whereas for the live action, the expectation is probably that Toph has to be within the earlier episodes. So I'm expecting a quite changed maybe start to season 2, depending on what they decide to do. But Toph's family, of course, you've got the Earth Rumble characters who may change because, you know, we know there's going to be a Bonesaw character. We need to see where that character slots in. Zinfu and Master Yu, of course, to set up, I suppose, the big metal bending moment towards the end of the season and Toph being hunted, that whole sort of thing. Zuko alone, of course, we have the present day story with Zuko and the family, Sailor Gansu Lee, but then you also have the Fire Nation backstory stuff, so Ursa, Azula, and maybe some Lu Ten stuff, because this will be prior to his death. You know, they might go in more in depth on what specifically happened, but you know, I'm not sure if Lu Ten will actually happen. You know, Professor Zay, Sandbenders, Thon Ying, and of course Hope, potentially. General Sung is introduced in the drill. 214, which is the City of Walls and Secrets, is the first proper Boss Sing Se episode. We're expecting a lot of characters here. This is where I assume there will be quite a bit of casting focus. So lots of Judies, Long Feng, lots of Dai Li members, King Kuei, and so on. Jin from Tales of Boss Sing Se is probably the only main significant character, and also Guru Patik. So, you know, which of these characters are they going to announce? Toph for sure, but who else? You'd say maybe Ursa seems significant enough. Long Feng as, you know, ultimately one of the main villains, of course. And then maybe it would be cool if they announced maybe some of the returning characters, like confirming if, you know, Jet's coming back and they are going to do it that way. Otherwise, like, I'm not really sure what they're going to talk about here, because I think there is excitement for the first really significant Book 2 announcement. But at least for me, if it is just actors, and they don't have any new like visuals really to show off or other more interesting information like episode count, I'm not sure actor names is going to be like super significant, and it probably does push everything off until more when we start to see characters in their costumes and stuff like that. So it's more of the immediate build up to season 2 launching rather than, I think, the early news. And a lot depends on where you're at with the show, of like, are you super interested in every single detail about it, or are you more like, hey, I'll watch it, but I'm not super eager to see every single minor detail about it. Because the show definitely needs to improve from season 1 to, I think, grab more people, get people to kind of continue watching. There needs to be a sense of growth, and the idea that, you know, Toph is cool, we expect they'll get the casting right, but will they get the writing correct? Is Toph going to be done more like Zuko, where they actually got Zuko, I think, relatively right in season 1, or is Toph going to be done more like Katara in season 1, where most people agree they didn't really get her right? So that there's a lot of kind of pressure on the writing department more than anything, and I think a lot of it does come down to episode count also. So that is Netflix Geek Week, and we'll cover that more tomorrow when we have the details. Next up, the Uncle Iroh Adventure Guide. I just got an email about this like literally a few minutes ago. It is now available for late pre-order. So if you go to the Magpie Games website, you can actually like order this now. And again, the idea is that it's going to be late fall 2024 for kind of shipping this. Again, they're highlighting that people who did the early pre-order, like myself, are going to be, I think, at the very latest getting their copies by like November, kind of sometime in November. So they're highlighting that, okay, it's probably going to be in or around that time they start shipping it out to other people. But if you do pre-order it, you get the PDF immediately, is what they're saying. So it seems like finally the book is now like officially available for everyone. So if you've been watching my videos but missed out on the pre-order, now's your time to grab this ultimately. Let me just actually quickly check that it's up right now on DriveThruRPG. Okay, so after a quick check, it doesn't seem like it's available yet to just straight up buy on DriveThruRPG, but as part of the pre-order thing, I guess you get your code and you can get it that way in the same way that other people get it. I'm guessing that will change as the days kind of progress here. It's always a little bit weird how they do these books with the kind of scattered rollout, but anyway, that's the situation there. So it'll finally become available to everyone basically as of now. Next, this is just a recap of the next two releases in publishing for Avatar this year. So we have the paperback version of The Shadow of Kyoshi, so the second Avatar novel. This is coming out October 15th. So of course the paperback already came out for Rise of Kyoshi. Now it's going to be followed by Shadow of Kyoshi, of course, with the slightly adjusted graphics on the cover here for the paperback version. So that's kind of exciting. This will be followed in 2 weeks after that on October 29th/30th with the last comic release of the year, which is the Team Avatar Treasury Library Edition. So the big hardcover collection for Katara and the Pirate Silver, Toph Beifong's Metal Bending Academy, and Suki alone. So this is going to be somewhat interesting because this has needed a hardcover collection for a while. It's finally getting it, and note it will have exclusive commentary. So I'm assuming that means annotations. And while the annotations are rarely amazing, there is usually some interesting stuff in there and a few details maybe towards the end of some of these books. It'll be interesting to see what the creators have to say about it in annotations, especially so many years after the fact with some of these books. Then into some new books that haven't been kind of confirmed before, but we have The Dawn of Yang Chen. So the third novel has a paperback listing. So this is the Dawn of Yang Chen paperback. This is coming out June 24th, 2025. So it's like 3 weeks before the Awakening of Roku. So the new novel for next year. This is going to launch. So this is exciting. They are confirming Yang Chen paperbacks. I'm assuming the Legacy of Yang Chen will get confirmed for a paperback in the next couple of months, potentially maybe for an October release, and they're going to do that sort of June, July, and then October release. Might be a little bit afterwards. We don't really know what their release cadence is going to be, but it definitely seems to confirm the plan is, yes, paperbacks for all these books. We were meant to have a lot of the earlier paperbacks years ago, but because of COVID, they got kind of heavily delayed and are only getting back around to it now. But, it's nice to see the other edition happening with these books, get a bit of a secondary release. Cheaper physical copy of the book is always nice to have. And then this is kind of interesting. New listing, not up on many places, but on Penguin Random House I found this. Avatar The Last Airbender Omnibus Boxed Set. You'll note the pricing straight away, $124.95, March 11th, 2025. If you go to Barnes & Noble, it is confirmed to be a Dark Horse listing because the other listing isn't super clear on it. But what this is, as you can sort of see from the picture, it's 5 out of the 6 Avatar Omnibus editions collected in a box set for the price of 5 omnibus editions. Basically, you're getting the box set bit, the actual box, for free, I guess. Otherwise, it does just seem to be those 5 books collected together. It is the Jin Yang and Team Gurihuru run on the comics, which is weird that it just excludes Imbalance. And to me, that decision borderline makes this a little bit of a pointless product. It already is a quite expensive product here because it's over $100. Why not just do the whole 150 and it's all of the main Avatar comic trilogies in one product, and you make it so much easier for people to get into the comics because you have everything. The other point about this that makes this decision of only 5 out of the 6 very weird is the spine image. The spine image across the spines of these omnibus editions includes the Imbalance Omnibus edition. Now, it's only a tiny bit on the end, like with Aang's like cloak and stuff like that, but it is included in it. So it makes it exceptionally odd, and it's a decision that I don't really understand because the marketing text about this isn't overly highlighting that this is the Team Gurihuru Jin Yang run and that's a significant thing. They've just grouped these together because, but then if you want a complete set, you have to buy this and then just this one random extra book. I just think for usefulness purposes, it would have been so much better to include all 6 of them together. Would really like to know your guys' thoughts on this in the comments below about why they have decided to do this very odd decision again. Dark Horse have definitely been making some weird decisions recently, even kind of going back to, like, say, this. The fact that they did that box set for these 3 books before they then later, years after the fact, did the library edition, which still isn't out yet, that's a weird decision. And then this is also quite weird too. So I guess it's sort of fine in the sense that, like, if someone wants to get into the comics, you have to recommend them to buy this product and then the imbalanced one, and that's it, I guess. It still simplifies it, but it's odd that it's not all grouped together, given that it is a set of 6 books, ultimately. And they've decided to separate 5 of them out is exceptionally weird to me. One benefit to this is if you maybe have been holding back on your collection because you've maybe heard about the weirdness about the first printing of the Rift omnibus edition, about the spine being very big. This, I guess, is a guaranteed way to get a kind of updated print run copy of the Rift so that the spine image is correct. But that's just a very niche kind of reason why you would want this book, I guess. So not really sure what to make of this one. I definitely won't be getting this because the description doesn't mention there being anything else that's sort of like unique about it. Let me just refresh this and look at this. Yeah, because it just highlights that, yeah, it's the omnibuses collected for the first time in a box set, but again, it's not all of them. It includes, you know, The Promise, The Search, The Rift, Smoke and Shadow, North and South, all written by this team. But then they ignore the fact that there is only one extra mainline comic trilogy of the comics, and that's just odd to me. So in the comments, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all of this news, especially a lot of the kind of book releases here, upcoming stuff, but especially the Netflix Avatar news that's going to be happening later on. What do you expect to happen? Is it just going to be actor announcements? Will they give us something else that's kind of unique and interesting? Would very much like to know. But otherwise, like I said, I'll cover that one more tomorrow when we have the information, if there is anything significant to talk about. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the news. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.